Welcome to IAS project. In this video, let's talk about society during later Vedic period. Now let's talk about education. Education during later Vedic period was mostly confined to Dvija people. Dvijas simply means twice born people. Who were the Dvijas? Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas were considered as Dvijas. Shudras were not considered as Dvijas. So the education for these Dvija people began with the Upanayana ceremony. Upanayana ceremony is nothing but the sacred thread ceremony. So in the Upanayana ceremony, initiation of education was done. Or we can also call this ceremony as investiture ceremony. It simply means that the student is now a part of society. And when he becomes part of society, he can get the education. So this is the meaning of Upanayana ceremony. So Brahmanas, Kshatriyas and Vaishyas were allowed Upanayana. That is why they could get education. Whereas Shudras could not get Upanayana. Moreover, Shudras also could not recite the Gayatri mantra. In general, women also were not allowed Upanayana and they were not allowed recitation of Gayatri mantra. So from this perspective, we can observe that women were more or less equivalent to Shudras in terms of education during later Vedic period. Both were not allowed Upanayana and both were not allowed recitation of Gayatri mantra. However, we find some exceptions because we know some examples of women from later Vedic period who were allowed Upanayana, they got their education. Moreover, they also participated in discussions on religion. I will tell you some of the examples shortly. Now let's talk about family and household during later Vedic period. Family was basically a large joint family. How do we know this? Because in PGW sites like Ahichatra and Atranjikheda, we have found evidence of rows of hearths. Hearth is nothing but a fireplace where cooking is done. So this evidence simply means that food was prepared in large quantity. Food was prepared in large quantity means the family was a joint family and many members were living in the family. In our early Vedic lectures, we have learnt that the society was a patriarchal society. However, in later Vedic period, this patriarchy got even more strengthened. So the power of the father in the family got even more strengthened. Moreover, male ancestors began to be worshipped. So this is something which Hindus do even today. Not only male ancestors but also female ancestors are worshipped by many Hindus today. Also, in later Vedic period, the status of women did not improve. In early Vedic period, we have learned that women were inferior to men and they were also subordinate to men. However, women in early Vedic period were allowed to attend the sacrifices along with their husband. However, women were considered as inferior and they were considered as subordinate to men. So, in the later Vedic period, the situation of women did not improve compared to early Vedic period. Not only this, what happened was women also now lost their political rights of attending assemblies. In early Vedic period, we have learnt that women were allowed to attend Sabha and Samiti. But in the case of later Vedic period, women were not allowed to attend Sabha, Samiti and Vidhata. So women also lost their political rights in later Vedic period. However, we have some evidences of women theologians who were participating in philosophical discussions. Theologian simply means an expert in religious aspects. Moreover, sometimes the queens also participated in the coronation rituals of the king. Coronation simply means the crowning of the king. So in general, women's situation did not improve. Actually, it even deteriorated compared to early Vedic period. So compared to the Rig Vedic period, women lost their importance in the society. Also, child marriages and sati practice became common during this period. So in general, women were suffering. So this is also an important difference between early Vedic period and later Vedic period. According to Aitareya Brahmana, a daughter has been called as a source of misery. So here we can understand that daughters were generally not desired by the parents. So this was basically similar to Rig Vedic period. In Rig Vedic period also, people were praying mainly to gods for Pashu and Praja. Pashu means cattle, whereas Praja means children. Particularly, they were praying for male children. So the same thing continued in later Vedic period also. However, the women who were present in the royal household enjoyed many privileges. So this kind of situation is more or less the same in every society. And also in the princely families, what was happening was regarding the succession, the rule or the right of primogeniture was getting stronger. In our previous lectures, we have learned that primogeniture is basically the succession of the eldest son, which means that the eldest son, whoever is there in the family, he will get the inheritance of the father. We have also talked about two more words, ultimogeniture and coparcenary. Ultimogeniture means the succession of youngest son, whereas coparcenary means equal division of property or inheritance among all sons. I gave you the example of Mughals. Mughals followed coparcenary rule for succession. So if this is a kingdom and the king has 4 sons, then the kingdom was divided into 4 parts. However, this did not happen always. We also discussed an example of Aurangzeb. Aurangzeb killed his brothers and then he took all the kingdom for himself. So in the princely families or in the families of leaders, what was happening was the right of primogeniture was getting stronger. So the eldest son was going to get the inheritance of his father. Please like and subscribe. You can download this presentation from our Telegram channel. The name of the channel is IAS Project. The link for this channel has been given in the description section below. Thank you.